Welcome back to the Sundials podcast. Now, you might have been watching over the past few weeks and even this whole show itself and been wondering, like, damn, they certainly do look really cool and really crisp up here with these beautiful, like, angelic lighting and stuff like that. And you'd be wondering, like, how do we do that? How do we get all this stuff? And we don't. It's this gentleman here, Harry.
No, it's not.
I'm afraid it is, yes. Welcome to the show, my man. This is, he's been, I guess, the Sundials' go-to guy for, like, photos and video stuff over the past, I guess, few weeks and months now. And I thought we'd have him on the podcast, not only as a bit of a back behind-the-scenes sort of thing of what we have going on, but also because I always forget to shout him out in the photos we post. So shout out my boy, Harry.
Thanks.
Yes.
Cheers.
Hell yes, cowboy. So, do you have any words before we start?
Sure. I'll do a basic introduction. So, for those who don't know who I am, I'm Harry Kellaway. I'm 21, turning 22-year-old filmmaker. That's really loves making movies. Really likes music. Still studying as a student as well. That's actually one thing.
That was actually the first question I was going to ask was, who are you and what do you do? And I think you've just kind of hit the nail on the head with that. So I guess, would you consider yourself more of a photographer or a filmmaker?
Filmmaker, very cool. I've explicitly even got in my like Instagram bio that photography is really a hobby more or less, but it's slowly actually become a big commodity for me to do photography. So I could objectively say I'm both a filmmaker and photographer.
Of course, yeah.
Because I equally enjoy both.
Yeah.
But I would say I lean more towards filmmaking as my specialty.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's funny. Like I was talking to Spoz, and Spoz who Adelaide friend of the people, Spoz, shout out Spoz. But he was sort of saying that like being an older kind of photographer kind of guy, he only just got Instagram and he was kind of like shocked by the numbers that he's doing on Instagram all of a sudden when on Facebook, which is I guess more of like it's an older platform now.
Yeah, right.
Like just like it's literally like 100 times the interactions on Instagram than it is. And that's just like from posting photos and stuff like that. And I do think that, I think with the Sundials, of course, it's like, having stuff to post and content to share, like photos are just like a very useful commodity in right now. And, it's funny, man.
Yeah,
I guess then people talk about like video and TikTok and all that stuff now as well. But I think that's a whole thing that I don't care about. I hate TikTok.
Yeah, no, I've never liked TikTok. I've never got it. I downloaded it once and I was like, what is this? And I deleted it instantly.
I think it's evil. I guess I have the Instagram, like I just use that Instagram, like the budget TikTok on Instagram, like reels and all that.
Oh yeah, I do scroll hard and doom scroll
that's
forever.
That's it, man. Fucking doom scrolling. But so filmmaker Harry, and how long have you been doing what you do?
Objectively for a very long time for a 21-year-old. So I really considered filmmaking as an actual career when I was probably in year 8, I think. Like prior to that, when I was in primary school, I'll go back as far as that. Before that in primary school, like I used to get really into Legos and watching a lot of YouTube orientated around.
Me too, man.
Exactly.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, so like there were a lot of channels that did like stop motion little Lego stuff. Like, and I really liked those as a kid. And at the time I was really into both Star Wars and Lego. And I made like little Star Wars Lego films.
Hell yes.
So like I remember that fairly recently. I'm like, oh, that's actually a starting point.
Yeah.
But there was that. And then and it wasn't until roughly year 8, because the longest time I thought I would be more of like I'd go into like engineering or math. But I realized that around that time, when I was in year 8 or stuff, I was like, oh no, I'm not actually good at maths. I don't think I can do that. But I'd always found a love for creativity. And then there was a media arts class that I did, and I made a little short film orientated around a red button that caused the world to go bad. And it was, looking back at it, it's cute. It's very primitive. It's for like high school. There's a lot of continuity with it and stuff that was off. But my teacher thought I did a really good job with it and gave me a lot of encouragement. And that pushed me down the avenue of, filmmaking could be my thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so then through the high school that I went to, luckily enough, had a lot of creative support and a lot of good teachers that supported students in their independent arts. And I eventually, through year 10, 11, and 12, they kept rolling media courses out, and also we pushed for media courses. And I was fortunate enough to jump on board and make films whilst I was in high school.
That's mad, man.
Yeah, I was like, and compared to a lot of other filmmakers, because I'll get to uni in a bit, but compared to people at uni and their experiences in high school when it comes to filmmaking, it was all mainly by themselves. They didn't have any of that kind of classrooms to facilitate it, so I was pretty lucky. And then it was towards the end of year 12. There was a call out by my media teacher, who I love and I owe a lot to, saying that there was a competition and they were needing entries for it, and it was a filmmaking music video competition.
Cool.
Where they needed high school students to participate because they had an open category and high school category, and they had no entries for it.
Wow.
And it was due in 7 days. And I put up my hand. I was like, sure, I'll do that. And the only thing I could come up in mind was doing animation. And I basically dropped school for a week to make this animation full time, and got it in, I think, with like 3 hours to spare.
That's awesome. You don't know what year that was?
Yeah, that was in 2019.
Damn, dude. I think I might have... It was a music video competition, right?
Yes.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure...
It was for an artist called Emily Davis, and the song was called Lighthouse.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think for the open category, because I'm like 47, I'm pretty sure like one of the first tracks I ever put out was in that music video competition.
Yeah.
We ended up like... We were like a quote-unquote runner-up finals, which I think just means we came third. But and that was, funnily enough, it was similar in the way that, like, I guess my partner at the time was keen on making a music video, and this competition was just closing in like a week and a bit, and we were just like, shit, all right. So literally, like, we recorded the song from like nothing to it being like mastered, or not mastered, just we didn't get to master it.
Yeah.
But in like a week, and then shot the video in like 3 or 4 days, and then just dropped it in. And it was kind of a funny experience, just kind of doing... I kind of like the crunch sometimes, where you're just doing it like, oh shit, we got to figure this out, you know?
Yeah. No, I think I always aspired to that crunch that I did for that 7 days thing. I can always do that, but I haven't been able to replicate that since.
Oh, dude.
That was like a once in a lifetime thing I was able to achieve.
Yeah, no, dude, animation in particular, man. I
don't like, it was because it was a one-man show, and I was just like, oh, I'll do this on my own. I thought the only way felt like I could do it well was animation. And it was funny. I had no idea how to do animation like digitally.
Yeah.
And so every frame of animation I printed out, and every frame was done in Adobe Illustrator, and it just did like save files of everything instead of individual like Photoshop frames that you could do to make GIFs that I didn't realize you could do until high school, uni. I was like, oh shit.
That's tremendous and horrible. I think with I guess like I've been using my limited equipment. I'll show you them later. But about like just animating and stuff like that. It's funny you're talking about like high school and wanting to be a filmmaker. Like I really wanted to be a filmmaker in high school before I did music, and I have like a few feature length screenplays that I wrote, and it's funny that I wrote them quite easily or quite with no friction, because I saw that as like the easy part, and the hard part was coming later. So I just like cranked out like 3 or 4 like feature length, like 48, 60 page like screenplays.
Yeah.
And if I was to go to now to be like, yeah, I'm just gonna like sit down and write some 60-page screenplay, like I wouldn't be able to do that, because it's like a mammoth task.
I don't know where that energy came from.
Yeah, it's just bludging school, honestly. For me it was anyway, you know?
Yeah, I have no idea where that came from, and I've been trying to find it since, but yeah, I always feel like, I don't know, I've been worried it's like, because there's a lot of passion I've wanted to put in, thinking like, oh, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna get this done. That doesn't seem to exist. Like, I'm very slow now in comparison where I was in high school to that sort of stuff. And I'm thinking like, where the fuck is that going? If I'm not I don't think I've stopped loving it, because I'm definitely not. I still love filmmaking, but I'm worried it's a love passion thing. Like, have I grown out of a passion for
Look,
filmmaking?
I'll say this.
Yeah.
So 2 points on that. Like for the past, I don't know, 3 weeks, and I guess even since the like residency earlier that the Sundials had done, um, like just being the Sundials PR guy has just been like crushing. Like so much of my like mental RAM in a day just goes towards like, oh, what am I gonna post next on the Sundials page? Da da da. Like, got to stand the algorithm. And I loathe that so hard. And I think by the end of this launch, after this is over, I'm gonna quit the band. No, after it's over, I'm gonna hand the reins off somebody else, or make like a list of like best practices for posting and da da da. Just have somebody else do it, and just worry about like, the fun. I quite enjoy, like, I'm not doing any of this. I'm just the presenter, but like the Sundials, like shout out Patty, shout out Harry, actually the Sundials podcast. I love like finding guests and having a chat with them and stuff like that. I like booking shows. I like finding like silly merch items and stuff like that to print. More news on that later, actually. But yeah, like I'm so like just burned out by like the silly hassle of like the hustle and bustle of doing these little knickknacks, and that's not why I got into it. That said, one of the things with me in film, I think you have to experiment if you're young and you're getting into like creativity. Like I thought that I wanted to either be like I don't know, a YouTuber or a filmmaker, but after attempts at that, I realized that like it kind of wasn't for me. It couldn't be for me in various reasons. And so I knew obviously I was still creative. And then I guess like slowly but surely that creativity ended up like funneling into like music. Like I kind of realized that I was writing songs by accident, like as like a journal almost. I was just writing songs just to like vent or something like that. Then I was like, damn, I'm actually just a musician. Didn't even notice. But yeah, I don't know. As far as the grind goes, man, you definitely got to have like rest times, and just like there have been times where as a musician I just feel like, nah, that's it. Like I just hate this and I can't do this anymore. And then if I just go like, all right, I'm just not gonna play guitar for like a week, I go crazy. I go, damn, I gotta have that thing in my life again or something like that. And you come back to it. But yeah, it's like having a nap sometimes. Like sometimes having a nap seems silly. And you're like, no, I'm just gonna do whatever. But if you stay awake and do whatever, you're just on your phone, you're like smooth braining it and stuff like that. But if you have that nap, you guys have to have a rest.
Yes.
Then you can come back at it with like full energy. So I'm all about that like good balance stuff.
My teachers, my lecturers and my close friends know me in that capacity all too well. I burn myself out quite frequently.
Absolutely, man.
And I know it's not healthy, but I do it because I keep putting that pressure in the back of my head that I can't be enjoying myself right now.
Yeah, gotta hustle, gotta grind
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Honestly, since the whole like being the Sundials PR guy and organizing this and lining it up with the dates and da 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 and contacting other people, like since doing that, either I'm doing the work and I'm making Sundials related stuff or content for like Instagram and stuff like that, or I'm just smooth branding it or playing like Dark Souls. I got a Switch. I play Dark Souls on Switch.
Yeah.
My name's Dieter Horvath. I love Dark Souls.
What's good, everyone? I'm a big fan of Skyrim.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so like but like before, like I was actually like learning to make games and just enjoying like learning coding, and it was like a new little window of like creativity that I was exploring. But then suddenly it's like I had to put it all down to work on this Sundial stuff, and that feels like a grind. And because of that, I'm not like pursuing interests right now. I'm either working on the grind set or I'm just crashing out playing Switch or my phone watching like Instagram reels for like way too long. I just think like it's good to I'm so excited for this to kind of slow down so we can just start, so I can have the I'm bored moments where you're just like, I'm not doing anything right now. What else can I do? And then for me, it's like learning to code because it's funny.
Yeah, no, I'm actually currently looking forward to that because I'm at the almost peak of the peak amount of work I need to do for clients at the moment. I've yes, clients. I wonder who. I'm kind of at the peak of it, and I reckon by July I'm gonna have a fairly free window where I'm gonna be able to sit down, chill, and then be able to work on. I don't really know
just
where.
Whatever.
Whatever. Like have a moment of rest where I can then, or either A, step away and try something different creatively, or B, take a rest and then come into a big project to invest into.
Yeah, awesome.
No way. Patty just said feature film. No fucking way am I capable of that shit.
Hell.
Short film, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I guess continuing the trajectory of that. So when I did the animation, so I won high school category for
awesome.
that Emily Davis Lighthouse video.
If you show me that, I might remember it. I think I might have seen it.
No, yeah.
Was it played at like a theater?
Yes, Mercury Cinema.
I'm pretty sure I was at that theater.
Holy shit.
It's so weird.
You would have seen me at the front stage too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I won that. And part of winning that was that I didn't realize until I was notified very late was that I would then make music video as part of I think it was called Clip It, which is a partnership with Music Essay and Mercury Cinema to put music essay artists with filmmakers to make a music video. And I got partnered with a band called Van Rango, who are no longer with us. Not that they had died. They're alive and well, and they were great people to work with. And that was the first proper music video I made, and that made me fall in love with filmmaking quite hard, and music videos in particular.
Yeah.
Like doing the project, like it was a fun little goofy. It was like a Hard Day's Night kind of inspired looking thing of the band running around and stuff, and it was I really loved it, especially sequence of getting them with all their instruments lined up and performing to camera. That was a great highlight. I love that, and I've been chasing that experience of filming and working with bands to make music videos like that.
That's crazy. First of all, that like you kind of like went into the deep end to do this video, won the competition, and then got back in the deep end.
Yes,
that's crazy.
I'm super lucky though, and I think I actually defined a lot of post activities that I've gotten like that to be down to luck and chance and who I know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I do work hard, but fuck, I get really lucky. I think quite a lot.
Look, I think I can't remember why I was thinking about this, but I think a lot of the times when people do go like, oh, they got lucky, they just like, oh, they happened on the right person at the right time. But in reality, like the person that gets lucky and meets the person at the right time, they're doing it all the time, and then it just happens that one lucky day, one person walks past, and it's like, well, that just happened to be the day that they were out there because the person was always doing it like every day, and I know that didn't really make much sense, but basically, you get lucky when you're just doing it all the time.
Exactly.
You know?
And saying a lot yes to a lot of opportunities as
Absolutely.
well. Like, fairly recently, a similar event came up again between Music Essay, Mercury Cinema, and Couch 44 to do a program for the Fringe called 10 by 10, which is ran by an American filmmaker that I wish I could remember the name of, but I can't.
Shout out to them.
I love you. Sorry. They licensed an event to the Fringe called 10 by 10, which was, again, putting filmmakers with music essay artists to make music videos. And I made a music video for Street Legal, Head Today, Gone Tomorrow.
How was that? Like, how did that whole experience go? And what was your time and all that stuff? Like, what's the limitations of it?
So the limitations of that, they changed constantly because it was the first time they were running it. So from 10 days, it became 7 days. And we theoretically, as a group, because I had another film shoot on top of that, and as well as Chris, we had roughly 4 to 3 days to shoot and film that music video.
Damn.
And we just had access to the lead singer of Street Legal, who was really nice, really good, cool guy to work with. And
but only him.
Only him.
That's crazy.
The rest of the bands, we'd love to have gotten them in, but because of time and management and stuff, like it was
Dude, I would have pretended. I would have just got a bunch of people dressed like them and pretended it was them.
That was an idea, because their whole outfit for Street Legal is you got the lead singer guy who I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names, so if you're listening, I'm so sorry.
Shout out Street Legal.
I'm just gonna say Street Legal. I'm so sorry I can't remember your name. Who's the lead singer? I love you. You're amazing. I'm just sorry, I'm terrible with names. The lead singer guy, he wears a suit, and then the rest of the band, they all wear boiler suits.
I've
red
seen
boiler
that.
suits.
It's very cool.
That was a throwaway idea that one of us would wear boiler suits for the video, but time-wise again, and budget, because these videos we had to make were for $0.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was crazy. I have my thoughts about that, but never mind.
I feel like I can hear those thoughts, man. I feel like that's annoying.
There was a lot that we reckon. So from the experience in the end, we were really happy with the video, and it was great and it was fun. But it was a lot I think the organizers could have learned from running it. I don't feel like I should be babbling on about that, but I am.
Politically, like, no, we're cool. We all like everyone. It's cool.
Yes.
But no, I think, I mean, on to give them like the benefit of the doubt, like first go around, all that stuff. Like, I'm sure they'll probably learn some stuff for the next time they do it and all that. But yeah. So I guess, how'd the video shoot go?
It went really well. It was fun because it was weird. The video itself is just us filming props that are nostalgia based around sort of the 1980s and 90s, and we were just filming little sequences and then cutting that in between the lead singer singing, and it was fun. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was just we were just going around, come up with little ideas, and I was getting to get old props I've got around my house. Like, my room is exploding at the moment with just old bits and pieces of tech and stuff.
Have you seen this house?
Yeah, no.
It's full of all sorts of weird stuff.
I might take some of this stuff from
Absolutely.
home. I'm gonna take that ukulele in the background.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess, what did you say before? How long have we been running for, Patty? This is so unprofessional. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, Patty.
23 minutes.
All right,
23 minutes.
Well, in that case, we'll start to bring this thing to a close. I'm sorry, audience. We tend to we always go like, no, we're going to do 20-minute episodes, and then we just run for like 45 minutes, and most of it's just me tiredly asking questions about tax for some reason. That sucks. I wouldn't watch this show if that was what the fuck was happening. That's mid, dude.
Have you done your taxes?
No, I haven't. I'm terrified of it, by the way. But first of all, two questions. Is like, what are you excited for? You know, being that you've, your history of like working on music videos and the competitions and the 10x10 thing recently. What have you got coming up that you're kind of keen on, or what are you like working with right now? And
well, I'm working with the gentleman across from me to make a music video with the Sundials. Subtle plug.
Subtle plug. That'll be out eventually.
Yes. So yeah, that's the big key project I'm working on at the moment. Is putting together a cool music video for the Sundials.
I'm super keen.
Yeah. Do you want to talk into that, or do you want to?
Oh, I mean, like,
I could just rattle off all the other kind of smaller projects.
What else have you got? Yeah,
I have another music video that's probably going to happen.
Cool, very cool.
That's we haven't agreed. I think yes, we have agreed, but we haven't confirmed. Like we're going for it.
Well, don't listen, guys. Don't tell anyone about that. All right.
It's between
us. It's just between us and in this space here, this virtual space.
And Patty,
who's behind the camera.
Shout out to the sexy man behind the camera.
Yeah, shout out Patty, dude.
Then I'm filming a documentary for a very interesting guy called Greg John. He's a very interesting guy that loves music. I met him first filming a music festival that he'd organized in Palma.
Wow.
He's a sculptor, and he organized part of an exhibition of sculptures that he put on a farm property all around Palma, that he would have live music there, and it was all very acoustic based. Like the Yearlings were performing there, and a guy named Aaron Thomas. Really, really great musicians, and we're combining our love of music and then his career and life of working in sculptures. Like, he's had international exhibitions of his work, and even if you're down in Glenelg area and you see that wave sculpture that's by the shoreline, that's his sculpture.
Cool.
That he made, I think, maybe 40 odd years ago. I can't give you exact dates, but anyway, we're making a documentary about his life.
That's awesome. Really cool. On that, I'm all for that. The whole like combining your passions of like, he likes music, his sculptures, combine that. I think with the podcast, it's sort of like, I like music, I like Adelaide acts and people in Adelaide, I like talking. So we combine those all together and made a Sundials podcast.
Yes.
But yeah, and the other question I had was, there are a good deal of like, I guess, up and coming, I guess, sort of I would say you're more established now, just going off like the amount of stuff you've done and what you're working on and all that stuff. But there are a lot of people kind of coming up that love, I don't know, taking photos of bands or want to do video stuff and stuff like that. And I guess being that you were just in that position, like, what do you feel like is some good advice for somebody like that, you know?
Yeah. I'll probably start off saying that I'm by no means an expert. There are far more talented filmmakers my
Well,
age.
you're on the scene, buddy. You're doing it. You're out there kicking goals.
Look, yes, I'm in the scene, but I by no means think I'm a good filmmaker by any stretch. I am still thoroughly learning from people about how to be a better filmmaker.
Well, you're going to be learning. Everyone's going to be learning their whole life.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably big number one thing is surround yourself with in a community of people that enjoy the same passions as filmmaking, or if you like music and stuff. Two, just dive straight into it, try it. Like even photography at gigs. So that was something I only started last year, and I even felt nervous doing it. It's like the first time I did it, I had to ask the manager it was at a gig for the Wanderers, and the first time I did photography at a gig, I had to ask the manager of the Wanderers if it was okay to take photos. Wow. Which then, looking back now, I'm thinking like that was the weirdest and stupidest thing I've ever done.
I mean,
like,
you don't know though.
No, and then she came through and I was like, "Yeah, it's fine. Like, what are you talking about?" Yeah. But yeah, like dive into it. It's okay, and bands appreciate, in my opinion, having photographs taken of gigs and stuff. They really support and love it. And yeah, it's all about learning, and like, especially if you're studying your arts, like I have been doing, there's only so much you can put into the arts through the course that you're learning. Like a lot of it has to come if you want to expand and make yourself feel like you're going to make yourself feel like you're improving yourself and becoming a better filmmaker. You've got to work behind that. So you've got to work on little short projects on your own, or with other crew, and broaden yourself. Like it's like because I'm currently at the moment finishing up my degree, and yeah, I feel like you need to keep working behind the scenes in other small aspects to improve yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like extra reading kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're just gonna like do it because you're studying or you're learning it, then like when that finishes, then you're just kind of like, well, now what? But
yeah,
if you're just doing it because you love it, because you got like a passion for it, or you're interested in getting better at stuff like that.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing that's driving me out, is to get better. Like probably the nearest far project in the future is to make a quality short film, which is something haven't personally achieved yet. I wanted to make an actual good quality short film. I'm proud to tell people, hey, look at this. This is pretty cool. So that's probably the next step I want to do, and get proper crew involved and pick collaborators for that. And that in itself will just be a learning exercise for me to manage even just little steps up as well. So from just 2-man crew, where it might be Paddy and myself. But for those who also don't know, Paddy and I are very close friends, and that's how I met
Sundials,
over here.
Which is, I guess, exactly what you were saying before about like connections and meeting other people, and
Yes, that's right. And yeah, expanding from a small crew into a bigger production with working with proper actors that from agencies and stuff, and just working just in small step capacities. I don't know.
All right. No, that's I don't know. That's I mean, that it's like you kind of you take what you know and you kind of push the boundaries a little bit by little bit. That's I guess what this whole little release escapade has been for the Sundials. It's just like, I think this time it's going to be like, oh, this sucks. What are we even doing? Oh, and then like next time it's like, oh, we know everything we have to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Sundials have. I'll wrap this up now, I think, because Paddy's looking a bit. He's all moving around back behind the cameras. You don't know what he's. You guys can't see him. I think that means we're probably getting on towards half an hour. And I think for the sake of people driving in their cars or listening at home or watching on a TV, you can do it on TV, guys. You can
watch out! No.
Watch out! Yeah. But for everybody watching at home, I think we'll cut it off there and do a nice, clean, roughly half an hour episode. You can catch the Sundials next, because I think one, we've filming this, our big launch show is a week out or like 5 days out now. So we're all excited for that. But when this episode comes out, it will have just happened. So basically, like next time you're going to catch the Sundials, we'll be at Aquarian Garden at Arthur Art Bar in April sometime. And I don't remember the date. It's like 20 something. But it's going to be very cool. Lots of cool acts and stuff. Lots of cool rock and roll acts. And I think in the next few weeks, the Sundial podcast, we're going to have a bunch of cool people on, a bunch of various Arthur Art Bar, Aquarian, Mysteries, the show, the festival, people on to talk with them and figure out how to run a festival or whatever. So that'll be cool. So stay tuned, everyone. And thank you, Harry. Harry, what's your Instagram?
I wish I know off by heart. It's at Harry Kellaway. Kellaway spelled Kellaway.
Hell yes. Follow him. He does cool stuff and cool videos and films and I'm in them sometimes, which is funny.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
And he's good.
No, I'm not. That's very subjective, I feel like.
It's fun making films with you.
I enjoy it too. But anyway, we'll leave you to it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Cheers. See you around.
Hell yeah.